Hello and welcome to Seal Week 1, Day 3. I'm Baby, you can call me Hunter, and I'm joined by my co-caster today, Will. Will, how's it going?
It's going good, baby, and how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good myself. We've got a nice short little Friday night stream coming at you guys. Only one matchup for us tonight, that's 2 games. Coming from the Noxus division, we're going to watch eBros versus Apes Together Strong. Have you got a chance to see any of these teams play before, Will?
I have not had a chance to see them play in action.
Well, that's good. It'll be a first for me, too. I do know some of the players coming out on the side of Apes Together Strong. I've been a big fan of Scattercat. They were very impressive last season, and I'm looking forward to see them perform again. But the teams as a whole, I'm still new to them as well, and really looking forward to seeing these teams grow together. Do you have anything else you'd like to add, or should we move it right on over into Pick Ban?
I think we should get right into the pick ban and see how these teams square off.
Awesome. So for our pick ban today, we see eBros versus Apes Together. eBros starting on the blue side for this matchup. We see very targeted bans looks like coming out from both teams, with the exception of perhaps the Caitlyn coming out of Apes Together Strong. Anyone who's been following competitive or been playing solo queue recently knows that Caitlyn's been an absolute menace. And eBros responds to that ban immediately with the Ashe first pick. A very dominant bot laner, lots of lane priority, really good back timings and the like. On the other side, we do see Apes Together Strong picks up the Hecarim, a really strong power farming jungler right now, strong ganks, and scales very reasonably well into the mid game with good item timings that really let him push, especially if he's got an advantage. You become a menace to backline carries. Galio as well in the mid lane, safe blind pick if you're confident that your opponent's not going to pick an AD into you, and just overall really, really strong mid jungle 2v2 coming out of them. Warwick as a response, adequate dueling, might actually be able to match the Hecarim in a 1v1 if he can find it, and a Fizz in the mid lane looks like a comfort pick, not wanting to get banned out in the second round of bans. Kog'Maw, really interestingly, comes out in the bot lane as well here. I'm interested to see how that matches up in the Ashe, since she can be such a bully in this lane. Do you have any opinions on the first half of pick ban here?
Well, I definitely think that the Apes Together Strong mid laner managed to grab one of his top 5 played champs in the Galio.
Yeah, the Galio for sure for Scattercat has always been a standout. I've always been impressed by their propensity for roaming and their ability to impact the map, and Galio is the perfect pick for that, and they've really shown it in their past games. Moving into the second half of pick ban here, we do see the Lulu and the Janna banned out by the side of eBros, really pinching the Enchanter pool, not wanting that Kog'Maw to get Juggermaw status this game, as well as Hecarim doing really, really well with shields and buffs on themselves as well. Really good bans, I think, coming out there, and really pinches Apes Together Strong on their champion picks that they can use to synergize with this comp. Wukong Lux on the side of Apes Together Strong looks to be just cutting off comfort picks, cutting off lane dominant picks in this case of Lux, a way to prevent top, rather bot lane from punishing this Kog'Maw as hard as they might want to with the Ashe. And then picks come out back again. Taric for Apes Together Strong, really going all in on this Wombo combo engage with the Galio Hecarim. And immediately followed up by the Brand, really wanting to bully the Taric Kog'Maw. Really good pick here, actually. Very little that Taric Kog'Maw should be able to do in the 2v2 there. And Ornn just as a safe engaged top laner, giving the side of eBros another form of hard engage between the Ashe, the Warwick, the Fizz, and Ornn. Ridiculous amounts of engage on this team, and they should be able to snowball any advantage they get should they acquire it. Camille will round out the comp. Really powerful top lane split pusher, good matchup into Ornn. Should be interesting to see how that plays out.
I really do like the both the Brand and the Ornn pick for eBros, both Scramble getting one of his top 5 champs, as well as Gid Shadeslayer picking up Brand off of his top 5 champs, both champions they are comfortable with.
Yeah, and that's really important, especially coming into games where the average skill level of players is lower. Having comfort on your champions does wonders for how well the teams can perform in these games, and it should be really interesting to see how this ends up playing out. With that said, I'd like us to just roll on over into the actual game and let's see how this plays out.
Let's do it.
Awesome, and as we roll out into game here, we do see all the champions here going to pretty much the lanes you'd expect them in. No weird fake outs with like Tank Fizz top lane and Ornn mid lane, though that would be very funny to see. We do see, interestingly enough, actually, Hecarim taking Flash and Conquer rather than the recently popular Phase Rush and Ghost variants. Warwick with Press the Attack, pretty normal stuff there. Otherwise, across the board, we see pretty normal keystone choices for the table. Fizz taking Electrocute might be a little bit overzealous into a Galio. Maybe you could see something more roam-oriented there, like a Predator if you could find room for it, but nothing really odd or out of place there in general.
And with no hook champions in their comps, we're not really going to be seeing any invades. Both teams just lining up, getting ready for the
Yeah,
initial laning phase.
as you say that, though, we do see wards going down into the red side jungle here. From the side of eBros, just looking to see if they can get some early vision on the first Hecarim clear. Seeing what
Ash
they
and
can do.
Brand are also setting up positioning close to the blue buff for red side.
Yeah, looking to see if they can instigate something early here. Getting damage down onto the Kog'Maw, but Kog'Maw has skilled his W, is going to trade back very healthily onto the Ashe there, and they're going to go to lane with about the
Brand
same
going
HP.
back in, trying to do another poke real fast before returning to lane with Ashe.
Yeah, and that volley missing there is actually really annoying for the Ashe. If that volley had hit, they might have even been able to deny Taric some EXP on the first wave from the slow, but misses there. Everyone should get into bot lane safely and happily. Kog'Maw did take the Dorn Shield too. Level 1, really going to help mitigate the poke coming out of the Ashe and the Brand here.
Meanwhile, both Taric and the Kog'Maw are forced to play a little bit back as compared to the Brand and the Ashe, who are playing forward during the initial phase.
Yeah, and this is what you expect to see out of a lane that's quite as lopsided as the Kog'Maw Taric versus Ashe Brand.
And up top, I don't know if you've noticed, Warwick is stealing the red buff.
Yeah, Warwick really doing a lot of work with the early wards they dropped into the red side jungle of Hecarim there.
Looks like they're going to try for a gank on Camille.
Yeah, Warwick coming in behind them here.
Camille looks like she's noticed it. She's going to try get out of there, but it doesn't look like she'll be able to get it. She got knocked up by the Ornn.
Yeah, and really good gank coming in there from Potato Fist on the Warwick here. Really good invade coming out of that early ward. Seeing where the Hecarim's starting, Hecarim being slowed down too by the bot lane on the side of eBros, really giving the time for the Warwick to get in there, steal the red buff, and come for a really unexpected gank angle onto the Camille. And just pick up the easy first blood there. Going over the Warwick as well should put him in a nice position to snowball a bit in this game.
Camille teleported right back to lane as well, trying not to miss out on any of that farm. And it looks like Hecarim's made his way down for a gank as well, knocking the Ashe forward, but she flashes. Hecarim flashing as well to get closer. And they're definitely going to get the Ashe, and now Brand is caught in the middle of all three. He does get the trade on the Taric, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get out. The tower's not enough to protect him. Warwick
Exactly.
looks like he's coming down to see if he can try to trade something, but he's going to end up backing off and heading back into the jungle.
Yeah, and a really great gank coming out there on the bot side. Coming in bot lane for the Hecarim, getting the early advantage in that lane for the Kog'Maw and Taric. Something they really, really need is the bailout early from the Hecarim gank there, and I really think the side of eBros should have been more cautious about that, knowing that. But up in the top lane here, we see really heavy trades coming down onto the Camille here, and she's already...
Warwick's coming in the middle to try to gank Galio. Meanwhile, looks like they're going to take out the Galio fairly easy.
Yeah, and really clean play there, actually, coming out of the side of Apes Together Strong, but the Hecarim's coming in.
But the flash out the Fizz protects him from the Hecarim charge.
Yeah, and the Fizz getting out there. Really, really clean plays coming out of the Fizz there. Dodging the Galio burst with his Playful Trickster and then flashing out there, but Warwick going in on the Hecarim.
He's chasing him in the jungle. Tarek seems like he's going to try to come and assist, but Hecarim's running away in the opposite direction. Trying to dodge and get away from Warwick, and I think he just might get out, but the Ornn's coming up in the river as well. Camille coming down, and Warwick is just caught off guard by that.
Yeah, great rotation coming in from the side of Camille there, slowing the Warwick down just in time for the Hecarim. Hecarim getting a bunch of healing off of his W there as well, allowing to survive the auto from the Warwick. Kills coming in across the board, and a really bloody game to start this one off.
However, I do have to approve of eBros in the bot lane taking advantage of the fact that Tarek going up to support in the team fight, pushing forward to the tower, and getting those 2 plates.
Picking up those early plates is going to be very good on both the Ashe and Brand. Ashe does snowballing in lane is always nice, but the Brand really uses that money well for a support, abnormally so, and should be interesting to see if they're able to output like the same amount of damage as a mid laner even in a game like this.
And here we see eBros going for the dragon.
Yeah,
it doesn't
dragon
look like they're trying to contest it at all.
No, and I don't think you really have the ability to contest the dragon right now with how your bot lane is situated. Just with the fact that you're gonna have the wave pushing in there as it was when the dragon was started, you're gonna have to either give up an entire wave to turret or just give up the dragon, and it's not worth the risk to go for the dragon. Especially not a cloud dragon when you have the scaling comp here. Speaking
Warwick playing close to middle lane, looks like he's going to try for another gank on the Galio, but the Galio plays it safe.
Crossing up to the top side, looking to pick up that Scuttle Crab. Speaking of which, these team comps are really interesting. You'd think that the Ornn comp would often be the outscaling comp, but it's so hard to outscale what Apes Together Strong has put in here. And if they're able to take this game relatively even going into like 25-30 minutes, not get Dragon sold by then, you really have to be scared for the side of eBros with this Camille, this Kog'Maw, and this Hecarim all coming out. Plus Tarek on top of that is going to be really devastating. But Ashe getting stunned up.
She's trying to go in, she gets stunned. Teleport coming down from Ornn. Meanwhile, Galio's also teleporting down. It looks like they're going to try to fight for this. And the Brain gets caught up. But the ult on the Randomonium, Gid Slave Slayer also goes down. Galio now chasing the Ornn, and the Ashe are both forced to back away as Hecarim came down from the jungle to assist in the team fight in a 2-1 trade.
Yeah, and we really, looking at that play really tells the story of the 2 solo lanes thus far. Ornn maintaining their TP advantage in the top lane, allowing them to come down there. But Scattercat in the mid lane on the Galio as well, still has TP up. Knows he doesn't have time to ulti down to the bot lane, just pops that TP down there, gets the play rolling, and answers back 1 for 1.
I really do have to say, Apes Together Strong with these plays so far could manage to take an early lead.
Yeah, and really, it's just that, right? The, Apes Together Strong gets their leads. It doesn't have to show up on the gold scoreboard for them to be ahead. So long as they're able to go even and maintain somewhat adequate CS deficits in the bot lane, they'll be able to snowball really hard. Engage coming in mid lane, I'm not sure
Warwick
if
took the Rift Herald, and now he's coming down. They're trying to take down the Galio, maybe get some lane priority, but the Galio gets out safe and sound. Warwick's going to drop the Rift Herald mid, try to gain some plates off these towers.
Yeah, and the really early Herald pop coming in the mid lane here, gonna give some gold over to this Fizz. Much needed advantage for a snowballing assassin like himself. Might be able to push him into some early item timings that lets him get some kills going on in these side lanes.
And we see Ashe back to go by, and Tarek and Kog'Maw are showing it by playing strong, but now they're going to back off with their wave getting defeated by Brand.
Yeah, and Brand just both clearing the wave there, making really hard to push. See more engages coming in the top lane, but I don't think this Ornn cares. He is just a tanky
He's
little
going
jungle.
in on that Camille. Camille ulting into the Ornn.
Hecarim coming in off the flank.
The Ornn ult is going to knock up the Camille. He's going to try to kill her before he gets ganked by the Hecarim, but it's not enough. And now they have top lane again in favors of 8 Together Strong.
Yeah, and a good engage coming in there for the Camille, setting it up for the Hecarim, playing to their limits perfectly there, making sure that they don't get picked off in the meantime. Warwick looking for the Hecarim though, looking for the Camille in the jungle, trying to see if they can pick someone off, but Camille's in base, waves pushed in. Top lane actually has a freeze set up for them, but I don't know if that's going to be taken advantage of by the Ornn by the time they get to lane.
Meanwhile, the Ashe and the Brand are trying to hard push on this tower. They're going to back off now that they have and go, and appears to be setting up for the dragon.
Yeah, just getting some early vision control. Scuttlecraft already down there in the bot side. An advantage for eBros. Looking to pick up the second dragon, and if I were the side of Apes Together Strong, I just accept this. It's not a big issue if you give over the second dragon here. Try and hit your first item spike on all of your champions, and then come in, contest the third dragon, and be strong then.
And with the way they've been handling themselves in these team fights, I definitely have to agree. However, as we're talking, Ashe goes forward and gets the Taric. Kog'Maw forced to play back behind the tower. He's been marked by the Warwick. And now Warwick is coming in for the Galio, or with the Ornn, but he's turning down and going back towards Dragon instead.
Hecarim in the bot lane too, getting picked off, trying to go for the gank.
That's not good. That's not. And now the Kog'Maw gets caught out by the Warwick. That's not what Apes Together Strong wants to do, as eBros is now completely free and uncontested to take this dragon.
Yeah, and really big plays coming out there from the side of eBros, picking up 3 kills in the bot lane. Little overzealous from the Hecarim there, going in for that gank, trying to find something back, but you just have to let this Kog'Maw get his item spikes. Right now we can see in the bot lane, the Ashe is already up 800 gold, already finished their Blade of the Rune King, got their free boots and inventory as well, as the clock takes 12 minutes, and really just snowballing that gold advantage. You see 800, but that's more than 800 thanks to those free boots as well. Now,
Ashe and Brand heading towards the top. Yeah, looks like they're going to try to deal with this Camille, who has just been pushing into this tower the whole time. They get the stun on her. She's running out. Warwick coming up from the jungle. She pops her ult, gets the Warwick. Ashe going in and getting the kill. Hecarim was too late to assist this time.
Yeah, and Hecarim just not able to come in there, help out on time. The Camille does get picked off. Good Ashe ult coming out from the side of eBros. Lots of plays going on around the table for the side of eBros here too. But bot side, we do look like we're going to get some of these plates into this Kog'Maw's belly, and this can be really important for getting them towards their power spikes here.
It looks like they're going to try for the Hecarim too. Warwick in the jungle and Brand there as well. Looks like they're going to try to see if something can happen, but the Warwick is going to be preparing to get out of there.
The Hecarim has ulti, so no matter what happens here, they should be able to live. The CC combo here shouldn't be quite long enough to pick them off, but I've seen crazier things in my life. Hecarim does look to be going in onto this Brand.
He's going after the Brand. He gets the Brand in the stun. Galio comes in as well as Camille. They're really committing towards this fight, and the Brand doesn't stand a chance. The Ashe has to retreat, stay within the safety of the tower, get a few shots off, see if she can get the Camille. But I don't think it's going to happen. But the Warwick is going to charge in. He's going to go for the kill with his ult. He knocks out the Camille, and now he takes out the Hecarim. Galio running under the safety of his tower. He's in real danger here, with both the Warwick and the Ashe at full health.
And that's a really scary dog.
He's going to get chiseled down, and he's going to try to go for a trade, but he ends up dying, only dealing half damage to the Warwick.
And not able to pick up the trade kill there. Ashe just outranging the turret with where the Galio was positioned, able to focus fire them down with Warwick tanking some of those shots. Warwick's really, really scary right now. 5, 1, and 2 on the dog in the jungle.
And now he's stealing that red buff once again.
Yeah, and just picking up all the jungle away from the Hecarim, slowing the Hecarim down. 30 CS advantage nearly in this jungle here. 10 CS advantage in the mid lane. and a 20 CS advantage in the bot lane. But Hecarim does manage
poor
to pick up
Hecarim running into there. It looks like the Warwick and the Fizz are going to go for this. They get him the knockup, and they get him with the Fizzle.
Yeah, and Hecarim there does manage to pick up the Wolf Camp, but not able to survive the Fizz there exactly where they need to be, ready with the ulti, chums the water, and that Hecarim just can't survive that much damage at this point in the game. 6 kills now for the Warwick. Rift Herald to the side of eBros and just really looking to push this advantage.
This is quickly turned away from team fights that Apes Together Strong was handling, but meanwhile the Galio looks like he wants to go in on the Fizz. And the Taric goes in as well, popping his shield. Cogmaw here. It looks like they do in fact get the Brand, who was just caught out way too far forward. The Fizz retreated back to safety.
Fizz getting out there with the flash and the playful trickster. Not going to get caught up by the Galio taunt, nor will they. The Taric stun. Galio there does manage to pick up the stun, though, onto the Brand. Cogmaw picking up another kill, I believe. Good for the Cogmaw, bad for the side of Apes Together Strong, though. Not able to put together the advantage they're looking for. This Ashe already done 2 completed items before the Cogmaw's even picked up the completed Blade of the Ruined King here. This is going to be a big problem coming into this next dragon fight in 45 seconds, where you really want to see Apes Together Strong turn it.
Looks like eBros are going to try to get some early picks, try to get some advantage for this fight. Warwick going in with his ult after Camille, who responds in turn, but the Fizz Assassin coming in kills the Camille before the Hecarim can even do anything.
Yeah, and as the Hecarim there, there's just not much you're going to be able to do to turn that around. You can ulti in and then flash out, but that's not going to do much for you. Camille's still going to die. They still have a big fish on top of them. And you got to let it happen. Now, I think the Dragon is going to go over to the side of eBros. That'll put them on sole point at 17 minutes here. Hecarim
with the Rift Herald dropped in the bottom, Hecarim has to go deal with it. And in the middle, Ashe, Brand, and Fizz pushed their wave and took out the middle tower. Warwick starting this dragon. I don't think Apes Together Strong can really put up a strong enough fight to contest this, so they're just going to stay away and get into better position.
And we saw in the bot lane there, the Rift Herald eye juking the Hecarim about 5 times, and I feel like that's a good metaphor for the way the Warwick has been running around this map. Hecarim always reads the play, but they're always just a half second behind and not able to make the difference they need to in this play. Really, really great play coming out of Potato Fist in this game. Awesome job snowballing the advantage thus far. Awesome job getting around this map and punishing really small mistakes coming out of the side of Apes Together Strong. As we look into the rest of this game, I really think the side of Apes Together Strong need to just sit back, turtle up really, really, really hard, get as many item spikes as they can, and then maybe just look for a steal onto this Soul Dragon coming up in 4
Hecarim
minutes.
just narrowly dodging a death in the jungle at the hands of Ashe, Brand, and Warwick, but Brand starting a fight with Taric and Cogmaw. Meanwhile, Ornn is at the top lane with Warwick. Looks like they're taking that camp. And Apes Together Strong is forced to stay in relatively close proximity to each other at risk of getting picked off one by one.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job at this point of making sure they don't give over more free kills. Everywhere they go, they have a buddy system enabled here so that they're not getting picked off by the really strong engage coming out of eBros, but that's not enough. They're losing their entire jungle now. Hecarim is going to be completely starved out of this game, a 40 CS disadvantage in this jungle here now, and there's nothing they can really do about it.
Warwick looking like he wanted to start something there, but backs off, realizing that they don't have the advantage.
Yeah, and that's just going to be a lot of posturing from this point on. If anyone from the side of Apes Together Strong steps out of line, they're going to get an Ashe arrow to the face, a Brand stun, a Warwick ult, an Ornn ult, or a Fizz ult, and all of these plays at this point are just going to kill him outright with almost no chance for recourse.
We see in the mid, Ashe and Brand just gently poking at the Taric and the Cogmaw, trying to get their wave forward. Once again, nothing happening. Warwick running into the top right jungle, trying to start something with the Galio. Hecarim running down, they might finally get the Warwick. As Tarek's also here. But the Warwick, meanwhile, is just shredding the Galio. And we finally see the Ornn come down, knock them up with the ult. Barely getting out of there with his life. Tarek is running around to try to support the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, and the Tarek ulti not being able to get cast there. Bastion not in range of the Galio nor the Hecarim there. Not casting the ulti there, knowing that it wouldn't be useful. And just not able to get the defenses down there to save the Galio as they may have wanted. Lots of flashes going down there too. The Galio and Tarek both losing their flash, and those won't be back up in time for Dragon coming up in a minute 30.
Brand
So now,
Ash, once again, trying to just do little pokes here in the jungle against the Camille. But Apes Together Strong playing smart, not trying to fall for any of those, as they know they can't win these 2v1s and 2v2s.
yeah, and I think really at this point for Apes Together Strong, it's just got to be looking at the Hecarim getting into a really weird position around this dragon before it comes up, and looking for the steal. There's no way you're going to win a fight. Honestly, you might lose a 3 versus 5 at this point in time, even with such a strong team fight comp. What are you going to do? Who do you kill at this point? You want to kill the Ashe off, but when you kill the Ashe off, the Warwick's just going to be eating everyone in the backline. Tarek ulti can save you for a moment there, but that's not going to be good enough with all the sustain coming out for them as well.
Fizz trying to steal the blue buff. It looks like they're trying to close in on him, but the rest of his team is already here. They wait too much time has passed, and eBros was able to come here and reinforce their Fizz.
Yeah, and the Fizz there, Thunderstorm knows that they have Playful Trickster available, they know they have Flash available. Even if they end up getting chunked out, they can back and then TP back into this dragon. 30 seconds and counting now on this Infernal Soul for the side of eBros, and the Hecarim has not managed to find their way into the enemy Krug pit for some random reason. Not their fault, but would have been funny to see them standing there about now.
And now we have 4 of the players for eBros setting up, getting ready for this dragon fight. Fizz, the 5th player, coming down. And Apes Together Strong looks like they really want to fight for this. They're holding on around, getting around the river, getting wards into position. Both teams getting ready to poke, trying to get. Meanwhile, eBros starts the dragon, and it looks like Apes Together Strong going to go in for the fight. eBros is retreating back through the river, not getting ready. We see the Camille ult, and the red team stole the dragon. And, oh man, there's
Lots
just
of
so much going on. Lots of ults
here.
going down. But if we notice, Apes Together Strong is losing multiple players, while eBros only lost 2 in that fight.
Yeah, 2 for 4 there, but the 80 carry and the jungler go down on the side of eBros, importantly. And Apes Together Strong pick up the smite onto the Dragon Soul point there, making sure that this game is not over. And with those 2 carries down, there's no consistent damage to just walk this in over onto the Baron. Meaning, really, Apes Together Strong, I count that as a win. You even got shutdowns onto both of the carries you killed there, going over onto the Hecarim.
Brand trying to back out, but the Hecarim's caught him completely out of position. Brand stunning the Hecarim and flashing over the wall, buying enough time for the Fizz to come in and get the assassination onto the Hecarim.
And the burn tick coming off of the Brand there, plus the Airy, just manages to pick up the kill for himself there. But that last kill with withstanding, I really do feel like Apes Together Strong won that dragon fight in the end. Picking up huge shutdowns for their carries onto the carries of the other team. Getting a lot of EXP back and getting the Infernal Dragon away from them. Going to be really, really good if they want a chance to be able to win this game from here on out.
Absolutely. In their position, by denying them that Dragon Soul, as long as they can deny them that Dragon Soul 3 more times and put up similar fight results.
3 more times?
I think that they are in a good position to take that dragon.
You got to do it. All right, we're almost there. We only have to replicate it 3 more times. Don't lose Baron any time during this entire area. Don't get picked off once. But jokes aside, I really do think if you find a good pick now that Kog'Maw's looking at being able to complete their items before the next dragon comes up, Hecarim will have Triforce before the next dragon comes up. Camille might even have Ravenous Hydra. The Galio will have a Zonya's likely. All of these huge item spikes for this team comp are coming out. If you can just blow up this Ashe and find a way to ignore the Warwick, you have a real chance at taking a winning team fight.
Speaking of Warwick, he goes charging up to the top lane. The Camille ult isn't enough to stop him, as him and Orm just whittled down the Camille.
Yeah, and that might have looked a bit weird from a spectator perspective there, but Warwick following the Camille flash with their Q, great timing on that, allows you to just teleport behind them no matter where they are as soon as you're done the cast there. Following her under turret, picks up the easy kill with the ulti right after.
And we're seeing a lot of positioning up around the top tower. The Hecarim, Kog'Maw, and the Taric trying to hold off the Ornn, Ashe, and the Warwick and Brand, trying to scare them away from pushing into the base.
And more of the jungle for Hecarim is just being stolen away. Luckily for the Hecarim, they have managed to pick up the Triforce, but that's still a long way behind where you want to be. You really would like to see the Death Stance out for the Hecarim as well here. Interestingly enough, we did see the Hecarim complete their jungle item, which is rare, but we see the Baron being started up by the side of eBros, and no wards on it for the side of Apes Together Strong. I don't know if they even know what's happening.
They might not even know, and it looks like they're getting him below half health. They might just get this without even a team fight. But Camille and Hecarim finding coming down, but it's way too late. They can't even try to deny it. They just have to back out.
Yeah, and the Baron here now being picked up for eBros. Baron will allow them to push out all these lanes, and they'll still have the buff running when this dragon spawns in a minute now. We do see the Molten Edge, it looks like, coming out for the Ashe as well by the Ornn. We don't see the Death Crown for Fizz quite yet. Ornn does need one more level for that, but Ornn is... he's not that close to leveling up yet, but we will see that Death Crown come out very soon once the Ornn gets that level 15 point here, and that's just going to add even more power to the side of eBros. If they manage to pick up this dragon, I don't imagine there's a way that you can take this game back with a team fight center comp.
And it looks like they're going to try to start this off by getting some early picks on the mid lane. Hecarim's forced to run away, but the Warwick's just going to town. It doesn't seem like anyone can stop him as the Taric gets taken out by the Fizz. And not even the Ornn ult coming in is way too late, only knocking up the Galio. By that time, the Kog'Maw, the Taric were both already dead, as well with Camille.
Yeah, and a good pick
Hecarim
coming out
running
there.
back. It looks like they're going to just rush into the base to try to get this done.
Yeah, and they should be able to pick up the game here for the side of eBros. It'll be interesting to see if they turn around, but they really can just walk this wave down into the Nexus here. Hit the turret.
Baron buff, this is absolutely their briefcase to close.
Absolutely. They will pick up the game one here, going to the side of eBros in 27.5 minutes. GG to both teams here. A great performance coming out of the side of eBros. Really strutting their stuff and showing how to snowball a game to a quick win. All right, so now after this game, I'm curious to know what your opinions are on the MVP and ace of this match. So starting off with the ace for the side of Apes Together Strong, who do you think gave the best performance this game on their side?
Well, I absolutely like to think, in my opinion, that Scattercat was pretty instrumental there. In all the fights that they were winning, it was him coming down there, and it was him getting the Galio into position and really setting up.
Yeah, and
helping together.
It's interesting that you say that. I totally see where you're coming from, but from a viewing perspective, it's interesting because they're 0-5 and 5. You'd think that's a really bad scoreline, especially when you see the Hecarim's 4-4 and 4 and the Kog'Maw's 3-3 and 2. But I really agree with what you said there. Scatter's play in the early game, getting the TPs down in the first couple fights, ultis out, ultis in when they needed it, were really instrumental in keeping Apes Together Strong in the running in the early game. Still, with that said, shout out goes to the Hecarim, just getting beat out just by a millisecond on it feels like a lot of these plays. Funnily enough, it might have actually come down to not having phase rush and not having celerity on the Hecarim with how fast they get to these fights. And then the Kog'Maw, just an awful, awful lane. Horrible to play into, but manages to bring it back to even CS at the end of the game. as well as a respectable score line despite the atrocities of playing against Ornn, Warwick, Fizz, Ash, Brand. Now, for the side of eBros, who do you think is the MVP of this game?
Well, I think it's pretty clear to both the audience and us. I think Potato Fist on the Warwick absolutely dominated that game for eBros.
Yeah, and I really have to agree with you on that. We talked about the Warwick a lot through this game, picking up a lot of these early kills, making a lot of these early plays, snowballing the entire map, and just ensuring that their team has a really easy path through these winning lanes to just take the game from there. All right, with that said, we're going to go to a brief intermission here before we start up Game 2. We look forward to seeing you guys back in a few minutes. Hello and welcome back to Seal Week 1, Day 3. We're moving into Game 2 between eBros and Apes Together Strong. In Game 1, we saw a very powerful performance come out of the side of eBros, rolling over the early game, snowballing it into a really quick 27.5-minute win.
Indeed, but in the early game, Apes Together Strong put up a strong defense, even winning a lot of those team fights that took place. Only
Yeah,
starting to slow down and lose out on all those fights in the mid to late game.
yeah, absolutely. And a strong performance coming out of both teams there. Really saw eBros jungler pop off on the Warwick and get that advantage that they needed to close out that game. But enough with that. I'd like us to just move into pick ban here and check out what's going on in this second game.
Absolutely agree.
Now, moving into the pick ban here, we do see that Apes Together Strong now on the blue side, picking up on both teams actually picking up on what we put down in the end of our last game, naming the Galio and the Warwick respectively as MVPs and Ace. Both of them deciding to ban out these champions, alter up their bans a little bit here. We do see the Warwick, the Vagar, and the Twitch all pinched off from Apes Together Strong, and the Galio Zillion Rumble coming out of eBros there, trying to mess up the opponent's champion pools and deny the power picks they had in the prior game, respectively. But because of that, we do see Caitlyn gets through pick ban here, and we all know what a menace that can be in the bot lane. But the customary counter pick in the Ashe comes out here, looking to equalize the lane. Ashe, really known as just about the only champion that can stand up to Caitlyn in these laning phases right now. And the go-to counter pick, if you will, even if it's not really a counter so much as just even. We do see Kayn as a follow-up there. Really interesting pick. Interesting to see that picked up so soon for eBros. It should be cool to see how that plays out and see if they can really leverage what I assume will be a Rost game coming out of the Kayn here. We do see the Lux. Lux was banned out actually last game, and Caitlyn Lux together is such an obnoxious combo, very similar to Caitlyn Morgana. So much power, the root coming out of the Lux sets up perfectly for the Caitlyn trap. Huge CC damage combos here, as well as the Lux scaling really well with her shield and defensive stats for her team. Vi as well.
As well as the Lux being one of Randomonium's top 5 played champions.
Yeah, and
really good pick for him.
Comfort coming out there as well, exactly as you said. Vi as well coming out in the jungle, looking to punch some sense into the side of eBros, maybe make up for what happened last game in the jungle here. And the Fizz comes out as third pick on eBros team once again, just looking to make sure Fizz is secured as late as possible, but before the second round of bans.
So far, we see some pretty similarities from the last game for eBros, with the Ashe and the Fizz looking to keep somewhat of the same setup.
Yeah, really powerful utility damage core with good engage coming out there as well, as you noted. We do see now bans coming out. eBros does miss one of their bans, but that doesn't let don't let that stop them. We do see the Brand and the Blitzcrank being banned as Apes Together Strong looks to pinch the support pool even further. Make sure that Caitlyn Lux has a really powerful lane phase and doesn't have the champions from the side of eBros that they're looking to kill and punish this Lux with.
With all the poking Brand did and setting up for those team fights from the last game, I'm not surprised to see him get banned for this game.
And Ashe Brand is just a very brutal lane to play into. The massive amount of CC, stuns, and damage, especially burst coming out of the Brand in that lane, can be super, super difficult to lane against, and I see why they would want to get rid of that. We do see eBros following up with the Janna ban as well, looking to lock down some of the supportive options. I guess maybe they're worried about the Lux going mid, which makes sense. And just decided to drop the Janna ban there to make sure Caitlyn doesn't get another really powerful lane partner if needed. We do see the Pyke immediately coming out of eBros afterwards, saying, if we can't win this lane, I'm going to go win other lanes. as well as the Lissandra Mordekaiser follow-up. Lissandra really safe, easy push in the mid lane. Shouldn't die to Fizz if they take Aftershock, and should be able to one-shot Fizz if they take anything else. So interesting to see which way they sway on that. And Mordekaiser in the top lane. Blind pick should be interesting to see what the counter comes out. And we do see the Olaf, assumably for the top lane. We'll see once we get into match. Interesting to see whether the Kayn or the Olaf is slotted in this top side and how that lanes into the Mordekaiser. Do you have any closing thoughts on this draft?
So far, I like from both teams learning from the mistakes of the first game. I think they both got rid of the biggest threats off of the board, and I do like that Apes Together Strong also picked off the brand.
Yeah,
getting
absolutely.
away another piece of part of the success that eBros had last game.
Yeah, and really shutting down that really, really powerful lane in the bot side, allowing this Caitlyn to hopefully flourish a little bit more than the Kog'Maw did last game in lane phase. But that's enough about this pick ban. Let's see how this all works out, and let's roll it on into game. As we get into game here, we do see that it is the Olaf in the top side matching into this Mordekaiser in this top lane. It'll be really interesting to see how that ends up working out. I'm not super familiar with this matchup, but I'd have to imagine Olaf just does what Mordekaiser does better, but much less consistently. Lots of mana investment coming into the side of the Olaf trades, whereas Mordekaiser, manaless as we all know.
eBros rolling together, looking for a quick invade, but the Caitlyn saw it coming down the lane, so they're forced to back out.
And Caitlyn, they're actually getting really fortunate, just walking backwards. It looked like they're at a random time, or perhaps even spotted them on the bot side ward.
And thanks to this river ward, V is aware that they're trying for a second invade attempt.
Yeah, the side of Apes Together Strong getting really good level 1 wards out here, making sure they don't get caught off guard by the eBros invade. Coming in hard and fast, lots of wards coming down for them as well, though. One onto the Tribrush and one onto the Vi herself, where she's standing right now, knowing that she'll be starting on the red buff, looking to see if he can maybe get some of the similar advantage coming out of Potato Fist on this Kayn with the counter jungling this time around. On the same note, the Kayn we do see has picked up Conqueror, which means it's almost guaranteed that it will be a Rost game this time around, and should be looking to see when they get that transform timing.
We see fairly similar starts from both sides, both bot laners leashing for their junglers, but meanwhile V is coming in towards mid. Maybe they're looking to try to set up an early gank on the Fizz.
Yeah,
but
just looking to cross over.
But it is not set up.
If the Fizz oversteps there, it's a very easy kill for the Vi, connecting that Vault Breaker under, but a hook coming in the bot lane, bit of trade going down onto that Caitlyn. Didn't even proc the Guardian, actually, interestingly enough. Pike's level 1 damage isn't what it used to be, I guess.
Not determined by the lack of the gank in the mid lane, Vi has come top to try to assist the Mordekaiser with the Olaf. Olaf currently running away from the Mordekaiser, is now flanked by the Vi, and he's completely caught away from safety. And there's nowhere for him to go, and he's eliminated for the first blood.
We see another kill coming down in the bot lane. Pike must have landed some more great hooks. Lux burning all of her summoners, but still goes down to the Ashe in the end. Just missing out on that first blood too, which is a real shame.
But good enough with the trade-off to try to keep them in this game and keep their bot lane stronger than the opponents.
Yeah, and this is really, really bad for a Caitlyn lane. Dying early, Caitlyn's so reliant on being lane dominant, but a gank coming in mid lane.
And it looks like it's not going to play out as
Lissandra doesn't care.
Playing close to the tower, but goes back forward. The Kayn finally is deciding to back away and go back into the river.
Yeah, and just a ill-fated gank there going in onto Lissandra. Does force her to use a lot of her mana too, which will be interesting to see if that factors into the rest of this lane phase. Vi coming in onto the Kayn.
We got a fight coming out. Mordekaiser coming down with the Olaf, slightly behind him. Fizz coming up the river, and Lissandra as well, trying to cut off the Fizz. but no trade-offs, no kills on either side as each player decides to return their original position. Vi in the tri-bush, taking care of that control ward. Kane coming in with Olaf distracting the Mordekaiser. It looks like Kane's going to try to get the kill onto the Vi, but the Vi is just too strong at this point for him.
And Kane there just trading, picking up a lot of passive stacks there. Even if they get chunked out there, they'll have enough sustain to clear their jungle. Hopefully, I'm looking at their HP in the corner. Hopefully they don't die to Krugs. Their smite's almost up. Please don't die to Krugs. But Kane there, in general, just happy trading. So long as they don't die in the trade, they're winning, picking up the passive stacks, getting closer to that roster transformation, which is going to be hard to get, actually, this game, just due to the fact that there's 3 range champions on the bottom half of this map. We do see more trading coming in across the map, though. Fizz just trying to do what they can to pick up this wave under the turret. More trading coming in top lane.
Sandra really pushing against the Fizz, who is low health. He's forced to play back safe against the tower and recall.
Yeah, and it looks like this will be another game where there's a teleport advantage mid lane for Scattercat, really demonstrating a good laning dominance onto this Fizz, and they're abusing the weakness of Fizz early game, really.
Pyke and Ashe started to move towards the dragon, seemingly to set up, but it looks like the Lux and the Caitlyn were well aware as the Vi is now hanging around in her bottom jungle. Kane not ready to tempt to go for this dragon yet.
Yeah, and I think it would be a big mistake for the side of eBros to try and pick up this dragon, even with the pressure coming in from their bot lane. It's got to be far too difficult for them to pick up this dragon into the face of this pushing Lissandra and TP coming in from this Mordekaiser, possibly from the top lane.
But he decides to start it anyway. He's gonna slowly get ready, trying to lure it out of the pit.
Yeah, a pull there coming in from the Kane, but Vi going in over the wall. TP is coming down from the Olaf.
Well, Lissandra's already over here with the Fizz finally coming down. All 5 members of eBros are going to take this dragon. Apes Together Strong deciding, you can have the dragon. We'll apply pressure elsewhere on the map while you're taking care of that.
Yeah, and this is just... it'll be interesting to see how the top wave is managed for Captain Goose on the side of Apes Together Strong. The Olaf blowing their TP down to the bot side there really means that you should be able to pick up a huge advantage, as we already see is being developed for the Mordekaiser. And there looks like they're going to be able to crash at least the melees from this next wave into the turret here. And set up a slow push, pushing back into them, it looks like, as well, if this minion wave crashes at the right time.
Kane is slowly working his way down towards the bot lane, as Vi is already there, charging in after the Ashe, trying to get that kill. But the King gets there just in time. And it looks like this is a full-on team fight. Pyke is caught off, forced to run into the river to avoid death. Mordekaiser teleported down in the meantime. Having teleport up is an advantage as he's able to get down in this fight.
Ashe is in the Shadow Realm for a duel, but it doesn't look like she's it doesn't look like she's got Exodia. But Mordekaiser not opting to go in for the kill there. Probably could have killed the Ashe, but almost certainly would have died on the back end there, and just deciding that trade's not worth it. The TP that are actually really, really beneficial for this Olaf, getting the crash massive wave that from that slow push that I talked about earlier into the top side turret, looking to be able to pick up a wave proxy, and even likely 1 or 2 turret plates before this Olaf gets back top.
The Mordekaiser still bottom is going to get stunned, and now he's getting whittled down by the Ashe. But he's going to hide back behind the tower.
Just too tanky on that level 7, going up against 2 level 5s in the bot lane. They do opt for the side of Apes Together Strong, rotating the bot lane into the top side here, looking to prep for this Rift Herald, and really helping out the Mordekaiser here, actually. If they had to walk top lane without any of that gold being picked up in the bot side, they would have just been ruined.
And it looks like Kane's come middle, trying to help take down the Lissandra. We see, ooh, that's an ill-timed Fizz ult, and the Kane goes down.
Yeah, a huge play coming in from Scattercat there. Actually really questionable, I think, for the side of eBros to opt in for the fight there. They should know the Lissandra has ulti available. And honestly, I'm surprised that she didn't just flash ulti the Fizz for the kill earlier, but makes it look good there, picks up the kill onto the Kayn, really setting the Kayn back too there. You really don't want to die on Kayn early game. You want to just power farm and get towards your transformation as soon as possible.
We see the Ashe and the Pyke trying to set something up, trying to get one of these kills, but the Caitlyn and the Lux are playing very smart, hiding behind their minion waves and getting out of danger.
Yeah, Caitlyn forced to flash there, but it is in response to the Ashe ult himself. Pyke looking to hit level 6, hopefully really soon here, pick up that really influential ulti.
We do see both teams coming down towards the Ashe. Kayn charging in, going for the Caitlyn. I don't think he's going to be able to take this out though, as the Vi is there, just knock him back.
Yeah, and just caught between a rock and a hard place. Once the Kayn decided to go in there, they were forced to ulti. And once they're forced to ulti, they realize they're either going to get hit by the Lux binding or they're going to get hit by the Vi punches. Chooses the latter, but it doesn't mean anything in the end. Kayn still picking up another death there, and very few stacks actually in the process. And any ones he did get go over to ranged form, which is going to be really risky. I really do wish, as spectators, we got to see the progress of the Kayn transformation and see how close they were, but unfortunately we're not, and we just really have to hope we can see the Kayn transformation come out.
This Pyke is caught in a horrible position as the Vi is charging in after him. He was in the river for a little bit too long. The Vi jumping off of him into the Ashe, gets the Ashe, and without the Ashe, the Pyke is caught between the Lux, Caitlyn, and the Vi. Easily whittled down.
And big kills coming in there. By using the Pyke taxi to get to the Ashe, really unfortunate synergy coming out there from the Pyke dash with the assault and battery there.
And with all that priority gain, they're going to start the Rift Herald. Kayn hanging around, seeing if he can try to either steal the Rift Herald.
Yeah, just kills coming out now across the board for Apes Together Strong, pulling out a bigger
charging through the wall, looks like he's going to go for it, but he's going to get knocked up and knocked back. He flashes to try to get away, but it's not enough.
And a third consecutive death for the Kayn, and I really think they just have to take a step back. It's almost as though they seem to be tilting at this point in time, but he did pick up the Rift Herald.
The Ashe charging in along with the Pyke, the Fizzle. What might have been a good fight, but in a 4v3, they just can't risk going all in and all dying.
Yeah, and the Pyke there, the Pyke play there looks a little inty, but they do manage to pick up the Rift Herald off the ground, which was the point of that play in the first place, managing to ensure that their team gets to use this Rift Herald somewhere, and the money going into Pyke isn't the worst thing in the world when they do eventually pop it. Though they do have to make sure to use it before turret plates fall if they want this play to be worthwhile. I expect to see it dropped in the top lane, look to get that first turret gold as well as those 3 plates down. Hopefully Ashe able to rotate up there soon alongside him.
We do see Kayn and Olaf looking like they want to try to start this dragon and lure it out, but Vi is well aware of this. Caitlyn and Lux are making their way over, but so is the Ashe.
Pyke is in the top side here, so it will be a 4 versus 5. Or
and it looks like the Vi is charged in, but she's caught out in the middle. She flashes away just in time. The Olaf's so low that he has to run out, and now Apes Together Strong is free to get this dragon down. Kayn going back in briefly along with the Fizz, see if they can try to get something to work, but they just can't. They're all way too low to initiate a full team fight.
Looking on the back
going
side
for the assassination on the Lysandra. And now seeing if he can get that Lux, but with the flash, she gets just out of the ult in time. Yeah,
and another really, I would say, ill-advised decision coming out of eBros there. They could have just traded the dragon for a bunch of gold onto the Pyke and Ashe in this top lane, dropping that Rift Herald, taking that first turret gold. Pyke did drop the Rift Herald in the meantime, picking up some of that gold. Actually, though, Kayn picking up a reasonably quick
Olaf coming top. It looks like he wants to try to take out this Mordekaiser with the Pyke's help, but we see a teleport coming up from the Lysandra.
Yeah, and teleport from the Lysandra there, just managing to save the Mordekaiser, make sure that the Pyke can't X mark the spot, pick up any of that bonus gold there. And the Pyke solo laning at this point, which is a very strange choice from the side of eBros here. But does manage to pick up a lot of gold, currently sitting on 1,200 gold himself right now, and really quite far ahead for a support at this point in time. A full 600 gold ahead of this Lux, despite the assist discrepancy.
We see the Pyke now making his way slowly. Looks like he's headed back to the bot lane to re-link up with his AD carry, Ashe, but he's going to hang around the middle, try to help Fizz out with this kill onto Lysandra. But she gets too close to the tower, and with the Vi, they have to back away.
Yeah, not able to pick up the kill there. I would have really liked to see the Pyke go for a reset sometime soon. But I think
Ashe, meanwhile, is forced to contend with both Lux and Caitlyn in the bottom lane. So being forced to play safe under the tower and run all the way back. She's very low health, just having to take care of both of them at the same time. The Pyke is finally here, but they're not able to take advantage of the stuns on both of them in time.
We do see the Kayn ulti just essentially negating the Mordekaiser ulti up in the top side, wasting most of the
Mordekaiser wasting enough time for the Vi to get up there. I don't think the Vi can handle both of them at the same time, though. Kayn chasing for this kill, and he gets it. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Pyke got killed by the Lux and the Caitlyn. And now Fizz and Kayn are chasing the Lysandra through the enemy jungle, getting another kill to trade off on that.
Yeah, lots of fighting going on across the map here. An unfortunate trap for the Pyke there, picks up the kill, and I think Ashe might be having some connection issues. That would better describe what I just watched in the bot lane. She did not step on a trap, so unfortunate timing there for the Ashe, but what can you do about it? You gotta play through it. On the top side of the map there, though, really scrappy fights, and you really don't want to be taking these scrappy fights into this red Kayn right now. Pyke looking for a flank on the bot side, but no one around to help out.
I don't think this is a smart play. There's the Caitlyn to back up the Lux, even though he lands the spear.
Yeah, but does actually force out the Lux's exhaust out of fear for why would he be doing this otherwise. Thinking that there was more follow-up.
And now the Kayn's finally down here to assist.
They should be able to pick up this ward or the Caitlyn, one or the other.
They're going for the Caitlyn at first, but they back away. Not even getting the ward. Pyke gets sniped by the Caitlyn. Kayn goes in and gets the ward, but that's not really a trade you want. A ward for the Pyke.
But they did pick up the ward.
And now it does seem that they're going to try to gank the Lysandra, who's going to just narrowly get away.
Yeah, and it's so hard to gank these Lysandra lanes. So much CC, mobility, and damage, and just a 2.5 second self-invulnerability too. Fizz looking for the pick.
Really playing strong. The Ashe ult. Fizz going in to assassinate the Lux. The Vi trying to stop the Fizz. And it does look like they will with the Lux ult coming in, getting the Fizz.
Yeah, just a little over-eager coming out from Thunderstorm there on the Fizz. Ashe ult connects, but the fish had already whiffed. And the fish goes in and looks pretty whiffed himself.
Pyke again playing away from his AD carry. Either he's warding or he's playing a little too offensively. There's now 2 players between them. He's forced to walk through the jungle to try to relink up with the Ashe. Caitlyn and Vi starting this dragon.
We do see the Rift Herald picked up on the top side of the map for the Olaf, though, as the dragon is started for the side of Apes Gather Strong.
We do see a teleport coming down from the Fizz to try to get here. This is really good positioning. He can steal the dragon, but they can't in time, but they will get the Vi. Meanwhile, Kayn is going after the Lysandra, and Olaf tried to take out the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser focusing on the Rift Herald. Kayn trying to close in on the Lux with the Pyke and the Ashe. Lux forced to try to run away, but there's nothing she can do. She gets Pyke. She does pop the ulti, try to get the Kayn, but it's not enough damage.
And lots of kills coming out on the backside of that fight, using the Pyke to chase people down. Mordekaiser in the Shadow Realm takes down the Olaf, but not before the Shadow Realm times out, making him just too squishy to survive the Fizz, not able to keep those stats coming out of it.
And
really interesting.
We start seeing eBros trying to get ahead with these fights. These last 2 cross the map fights. They've managed to get ahead slowly with the amount of kills that they're getting. But they did lose the dragon in order to do that.
Yeah, and the dragon does, as you say, go over the side of Apes Together Strong. That puts them in a position to be able to get Soul this game before it's really just too late in the game for it to be a feasible game plan. Being able to pick up what would now be about a 28-minute Soul should be interesting. We'll see if they can keep that going, though, because eBros team comp really is hitting its stride right about now. The Kane just about to finish Black Cleaver and Boots. Olaf in the same position looking to pick up Titanic Hydra, I'd imagine, as their next item. Fizz just completing their second item. Ashe looking at completing that Runan's Hurricane in short order. And Pyke already sitting on a Duskblade, which is really quite scary. Lots of burst damage looking to come out of that Pyke, even running the Electrocute to boot.
Now we see the Ashe and the Pyke hanging around mid lane, squaring off against the Lux and the Caitlyn. Olaf and Mordekaiser doing a little bit of trade-off on the damage. Mordekaiser coming down through the river as Olaf's forced to stop and kill the minion wave. We see Pyke running through the jungle.
And looking to see if they can find any champions to pick off here. Not able to find anyone in time. I'd imagine the game is going to slow down quite a bit from this point forward until our next big objective spawns. Just looking to get some posturing on these lanes and turrets. Ashe ult will whiff in the mid lane. Caitlyn doesn't have cleanse, but she knew she could have flashed it if she needed to.
And we do see the Mordekaiser pushing the Olaf back away. Vi and Kayn looks like they're squaring off in the jungle, dancing around each other. Mordekaiser coming down. Vi might want to try to start this against the Kayn. Pyke and the Ashe are going to come in to try to reinforce Kayn, while Lux and Caitlyn are hanging out in the mid lane still.
And a big solo kill comes down on the bot side while we were talking about that for the Fizz onto this Lissandra here. Just Lissandra not respecting the Fizz's ability to just one-shot her, even though the fish was only the smallest fish. And just absolutely nukes her down. Used her ulti on the Fizz for the solo kill, but just mistakes were made down there, and looking to possibly respect that Fizz damage more coming out in the future.
We do see the teleport back to lane. Fizz running away. He's at half health. This is a smart and cautious play from him. Pyke, Ashe, Caitlyn, and Lux are all just squaring off in the mid lane still. Kayn hanging around the Baron. Looks like he's going to go for this V again. Olaf going in there along with Mordekaiser, see if they both can get inside this fight at the same time. The V
Kayn now drags into the Shadow Realm.
She charges over the wall. The Mordekaiser, easy enough against that Kayn, but there's not enough time. And now the Olaf's there to help kill him.
The Kayn's got to be a little bit careful now. Vi still has a lot of damage behind her with the Hail of Blades and the Chilling Smite there. But yeah,
the Pyke came over, but now he's turning back because Ashe got ganked herself in the mid lane.
And the Lissandra coming in there, trying to pick up the Ashe, does flash after the Ashe, picks up the kill with the ulti. Nice little pick there. Ashe overstaying her welcome, not keeping track of where that Lissandra is hiding. Such great pick potential coming out of Lissandra when we're in these even state games. We do see Dragon spawning in 20 seconds, and this is going to be really important for Apes Together Strong to pick up if they want to have a chance at reasonably picking up Soul before this game gets
and both
too
teams are setting up. They're both respecting that this Dragon fight is going to be very crucial. eBros look like they're really trying to initiate something before the Dragon actually lands, but decide against it as they don't have the numbers yet. Ashe is still working her way down the mid lane. They've regrouped with them after respawning. They start it, but they're forced to back away for the threat of all 5 members of Apes Together Strong. They're going to pull it out of the pit by jumping over the wall. Meanwhile, the Mordekaiser charging in. We see the Lux ult come in, and the Caitlyn shutting down the Kayn. And now, we just see Mordekaiser going in as well. eBros have really lost the initial fight, and they're forced to run away to save what few members they have left. This Dragon, so far, is firmly in the hands of Apes Together Strong.
And we saw there Really clutch plays coming out of the side of Apes Together Strong to win this dragon fight. Really close fight, and honestly, they should not have won this fight just based on their items and the item timings coming into this. We see the double black cleaver picked up for the top side of the map on eBros. We see 2 items plus a stopwatch on this Fizz. Stopwatch might not have been there, but definitely these 2 core items have been here for a while.
And now Ash is in the Shadow Realm with Mordekaiser. He's really going for this kill. He's not even respecting the tower. He's trying to get away, but the Pike grabs him, and now the triple gank with the Olaf and the Fizz isn't enough to get him.
Yeah, and the Ashe there, absolutely, as you said, not respecting the Mordekaiser ulti there. Mordekaiser is just an absolute unit right now. Massive with their 2 items fight. Ashe, though, going into that fight as well, had their 2 items. Pike had their Duskblade, maybe even the Serrated Dirk going into it. And just misexecution, I find, for the side of eBros there, not being able to get in position before the fight kicked off. But great calls from Apes Together Strong, finding the opening there, going in and picking off 2 members before the side of eBros had a chance to respond and taking the dragon in kind.
And we do see the same old dance with the Pike and the Kayn in the bot left jungle. But the Lux and the Caitlyn are there, they're back at the buy. Olaf coming in. It looks like they really want to try to take this fight, but the Mordekaiser is coming up the mid lane to join in.
Yeah, and
eBros really needs to respect this and just play it safe.
Yeah, and eBros really is going to have to play around the strengths of their Fizz and the skirmishing power of this Kayn at this point in time. Look for picks like they have been. Look for Ashe ultis and look for Kayn Ws through walls or Fizz ultis or Pike hooks. And just try to avoid taking straight up 5 versus 5 team fights. The Caitlyn now has reached a point where she is immensely powerful, honestly, with her 2 item spike only at 25 minutes being able to output a lot of damage. We do see Swifty boots come out from her as well. Really interesting adaptation, but it'll allow her to completely outrun this Ashe and this
Lux
Olaf.
coming in, getting the root onto the Kayn. But we see the Pike in as well. He's going in. They both catch the Lux. And now the Caitlyn ult. The Caitlyn managed to get the Pike. The Fizz ult coming in. It's not enough. They get the Kayn. And now Fizz. Oh, but the Ashe was there just in time as well to help the Fizz.
And
on
this
the side
is
of
the
eBros,
worry.
losing the Kayn and the Pike only for a Lux.
Yeah, and this is the worries of even when you get those good picks there, it's still a 2 for 2 in the end. When you get that great pick to start off this fight, because it turns into the 5 versus 5 in the end. Mordekaiser ult comes out onto the Fizz.
The Fizz popping the stasis, but he's still caught between 3 places. The Vi, the Caitlyn, and the Mordekaiser, and I would not want to be caught between the 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly, and I just think it's got to be so hard for ePros right now to look for where their advantages lie. They don't have great team fighting at this point in the game. The Kayn's just a little bit too squishy. Once they pick up Death Stance, it'll get a little bit better, but that still is going to be an issue unless they pull some absolute god mode plays coming into these fights. The Mordekaiser's just going to ult someone, and if you're not paying that QSS tax, which no one on the side of eBros is, nor can afford to, you're going to die immediately. Ashe hasn't completed her Infinity Edge yet. When Fizz ends up picking up the Death Cap, that's a shoo-in one-shot if you can hit the Fizz, the fish, but then you still have to hit the fish. And that's going to be a problem with the Lissandra looking to CC you, looking to tank up the fish even, and just ult herself. Lux shields, exhausts, and all that stuff.
And we do see on the side of Apes Together Strong, clearing that middle wave, now slowly making their way towards the Dragon Pit. Dragon's going to be up in 40 seconds. This is a very crucial Dragon for eBros to stop. If eBros doesn't stop this Dragon, then Apes Together Strong is going to get themselves an Infernal Soul.
Yeah, and that soul point is exactly what you need on the side of Apes Together Strong to just close out this game. We see the Olaf's already starting to fall off really hard against this Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser just far more items completed and a far stronger build at this point.
We do see Mordekaiser teleporting down to get into the early positioning for this Dragon. They want to try to get this fight as early as they can. They want to force eBros into an unfavorable fight because they have to deny that Dragon.
Yeah, and with the setup already here, Olaf's going to have to TP in, but Olaf has no Ragnarok. No ulti in this fight for Olaf means they're going to be practically useless.
The pike, the spear, out of range, the cane going in, but there's not enough time to even stop the dragon, and now the cane's caught between 5 members. Pike coming in, the Lux ult, Fizz and Ashe both now getting caught out of position as well. The Ashe goes down, but the Fizz is going to charge in and try to get the kill on the buy. We do see Pike charging in as well, but he gets killed.
And great ulti coming out of Scattercat on the Lissandra there, ensuring the Pike can't get that reset chain off. Perhaps even saving like 3 of her team's lives just by ensuring that she herself does not get reset on by the Pike there. A huge fight coming out of the side of Apes Together Strong, a 3-for-0 at the end of the day. Infernal Soul picked up, and team fights are just going to be so difficult for the side of eBros from this point forward.
And it looks like they're trying to set up and trying to take the Baron while they have this advantage.
Yeah, and just, it should be so free for them to be able to start this Baron. And
But
eBros has to...
They do decide to play on the side of caution. They're backing away for the time being.
Yeah, and we see that bot lane, currently the bot lane wave for the side of eBros is, I think it's slow pushing against them. But it's going to be real messy in that bot lane. It's essentially going to be frozen there for quite some time. Lissandra's going down there to match it. She does have TP available. If anything wonky happens on the top side of the map, she can join as needed. More blue buffs going over to the buy because Lissandra spent her entire game in the bot side.
We do see on the side of eBros, Kane, Fizz, and Ashe close to the bot side, taking the scuttle and taking the camps.
Yeah, just
but
clearing out
at the
boards.
top, Apes Together Strong. It really does look like they want to take this Baron. 4 members up there with the Lissandra. Lissandra's got teleport up. They're going to start this fight, and if eBros tries to get into position for a team fight, Lissandra can just teleport up.
Yeah, and Lissandra, as you said, just going to be able to join into any of these fights as needed. The side of Apes Together Strong, I feel like they should be really pressuring this more, sending the Mordekaiser into this Olaf lane just to answer it for free, and pushing out these waves and getting this pressure going in onto this Baron. But it looks like they're really preoccupied with getting this mid-tier 1 as they will right now.
They're strong pushing the mid wave, forcing eBros to respond. The Mordekaiser getting the Pike. The Pike is completely caught out and rooted, and it goes down first. And now the Kane is forced to fight on his own. Fizz going after the Caitlyn, but he just can't do enough dragon with the Mordekaiser tailing him around. Kane trying to, they're really fighting to deny this tower.
Yeah, and the Mordekaiser catching out the Pike at the start of that fight there, really enabling Apes Together Strong to snowball the fight there. Fizz,
and with that advantage, they're gonna start on the Baron.
Yeah, and the Baron coming out, as you said, should be up. Really, it's just looking for a steal here. Ashe will just die to the Mordekaiser here. Nothing to be done there. Turning onto the Kane.
Turn on the Kane. There's nothing he can do against 5 members.
That's just a 5-for-0, it looks like, coming out for the side of Apes Together Strong. They will pick up this Baron. Elder Dragon spawning in 2.5 minutes should be able to snowball this Baron into multiple inhibitors, hopefully. And then straight off of that, they should be able to back up, reset, and take this Elder Dragon on spawn.
But, once again, we see the Pike coming in, trying to do some work, narrowly getting out of that Mordekaiser range.
Yeah,
Fizz also running in, looking to see if they can make something play against this Mordekaiser. But the Pike, caught between the Vi and the Mordekaiser, goes down so fast.
And the Fizz just split damage on the targets there, lands the fish onto the Mordekaiser, but puts his E and most of his burst down onto the Vi. And I don't know if it would have changed anything, even if they had gone onto the Mordekaiser. Quite tanky with a Zhonya's available. Just too much damage, honestly, coming out from the side of Apes Together Strong, with the Infernal Soul already picked up, and 3 Infernal Dragons boosting their stats even further.
Yes, we see Ashe, Kane running into the jungle. Olaf trying to clear the bottom lane and run through and get to the Lissandra with the Fizz. They really want to try to get this kill on the Lissandra.
Yeah, looking for the
just
pick
running around, trying to get to her minion wave. But She's all the way on her own and gets killed by the Fizz and the Olaf.
A really good pick coming out of eBros there. No one on the side of Apes Together Strong willing or able to come help the Lissandra in the bot lane there. Will deny one of the Baron buffs, but in the meantime, we do see Apes Together Strong pushing down in the top lane, looking to pick up some of this standing gold on the map, pick up these turrets, and snowball this advantage even further.
I like this play. They have a strong team fight, even in a 4v5. Thus far, they've shown that they can fight these battles.
And the Lissandra will be up in 20 seconds with ulti, flash, TP, and Zhonya's all available. Will be able to join her team and ensure that any team fight will quickly be disadvantaged for eBros if it wasn't already.
Now, Apes Together Strong making their way towards the Dragon once again, trying to really close out with these advantages.
Exactly, and Dragon spawning in 15 seconds here. The Elders...
Oh, the Fizz getting hit with the Luxul, but otherwise, barely touched. That was a good denial and dodge on the side of the Fizz player.
And Kane just looking to posture in there. We do see the fish connect onto the Lux, but she has the Zhonya's available.
And now they're going in. He's going to try. Fizz is trying to assassinate the V. This is exactly what they need to do, but it's not enough damage as the Caitlyn and the Lux are able to turn on him. And now Olaf is caught in the middle of 4 enemy champions. Mordekaiser, meanwhile, was chasing the Ashe all the way up to the jungle.
And that's going to be Elder, and that should be game coming in for the side of Apes Together Strong. Another 4-for-0 team fight. Looking to make it 5-for-0 if this Pyke steps out of line at all.
The Pyke playing dangerously close, trying to, but he can't do it. And that's the ace on the side of Apes Together Strong. They can absolutely hard push this.
Yeah, they should be able to just walk this down in the mid lane. No need for them to even reset. The only people of concern is the Lux's mana pool and maybe the Vi's mana pool. Looking to pick up this turret.
Mordekaiser does decide to head back on Letter.
But they will TP back in. They're just spending their 2,000 gold picking up an item. TP in onto this cannon minion. Make the push even stronger. This cannon minion won't die now to this turret.
eBros really has to take this fight. They have to defend it. This is all or nothing. The Fizzle coming in on the Lissandra, knocking her down to half health, but otherwise, nothing. The Mordekaiser's still in the base, however. He's caught up in a 4v1. He's doing his best trying to take them on, but they're just absolutely going through it. However, the life heal, the pentakill on the Mordekaiser is absolutely going to close out this game for Apes Together Strong.
Holy cow! Alright, so I was about to start flaming Apes Together Strong for leaving the Mordekaiser behind, but that doesn't matter. That Mordekaiser picks up a pentakill off of the Bramble Vest and the Elder buff. What was that? Alright.
An absolute amazing Mord fight.
I don't even know what he did. I want to give him props, but he just stood there and auto-attacked and pressed Q.
It looked so close, like they would be able to take it out. But suddenly, with the Pyke down, there was a quick turn.
That was something else right there from the Mordekaiser. Oh, I need to catch my breath there. All right, so we did see the side of Apes Together Strong answer back to a 1-for-1 series coming out in this league here. Oh, all right. Not as fast a game, but convincing nonetheless from the side of Apes Together Strong. Knew their power spikes, knew their scalings, and reached them with flawless precision and a little bit of 50-50ing at that third dragon fight. 36-49 on the clock as the game ends, and I want to ask you, who do you think was the ace of this game for the side of eBros?
Well, I really honestly have to give the credit to Thunderstorm. You know, he really tried to make those Fizz plays work. In my mind, I think, you know, if anyone on his team was really trying to get those team fights in their favor, I think it was the Fizz.
I totally agree with you on that. Both on the scoreboard and through the eye test, I really have to commend Thunderstorm doing a lot in that early game, but just failing not necessarily by their own merits to snowball the game past there. And for the side of Apes Together Strong, do you have an MVP in mind?
I really have to award this MVP to Captain Goose with that Mordekaiser play.
Yeah, jokes aside, like, I don't want to sound too biased towards that insane pentakill at the end there, but I really do think that the Mordekaiser, Captain Goose, did a great job throughout this game, ulting priority targets, picking up the kills and correct target prioritization throughout this entire game, did well in the Olaf lane thanks to a timely gank by the Vi. But really, great game coming out from the entire side of Apes Together Strong here. Really showing that they can win games when they're put into these not ridiculously losing lane matchups like they had in the prior game, and showing that they know what they're doing.
Absolutely, I can't help but agree.
And that's just about going to do it for this series and for the evening for us here at Seal. We had a really short evening, unfortunately, just the one series being played. That's all we have time for tonight due to scheduling concerns, and it's Friday. Lots of people are busy, lots of random work calls and the like. But I want to thank all of our audience for showing up, supporting us through this, supporting their favorite teams, chatting in the chat, and being great. I want to support our producers, the Tribunal, all of the members of the Seal community, and my co-caster Will for doing a great job on what I believe is your first time casting, correct?
It is my first time casting League.
Yeah, and it's just amazing to see so many new casters getting out here. Great performances by both of the teams, by all of our participating members in this, and thank you so much to everyone for showing up. For Seal, for our Week 1, Day 3 stream, this is Hunter, or Baby, signing out.
And this is Willis. I hope you all have a good night.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.